1. All right, I believe we're recording right now because, hey, why not? This is Funny Like a Clown Podcast. I am your host, Dennis Wirth. January, February, March, April, May 31st, 2020. It's episode 63. Everybody's still talking anyway. They don't give a shit. You all set, Bill? Everybody good over there?
Yeah, we're all set.
All right, that's good. We are here to roast local comedian Bill Slemmer. As always, Funny Like a Clown Podcast is brought to you today by G Vegas Buffalo Sauce for the spicy, sweet, savory taste of game time. There's only one G Vegas available at www.gvegas.webs.com. Get it. It's like lightning in your mouth. Everybody likes a good buffalo sauce. And as I said, we're here to roast local comedian Bill Slemmer. And if you've never heard of Bill Slemmer, there's a reason for that. In the world of comedy, Bill Slemmer, he's like Pluto. You know, he's like the furthest from being relevant. And, you know, he's so small in the universe that some scientists got together and decided he wasn't even a planet. So, you know, in the world of comedy, that's Bill for you. He's just a dead rock taking up space. You know, Bill didn't request any women to be on his roast today, and there's a reason for that. He's from Winchendon, okay? And, you know, originally he's from Pennsylvania. That's home of the Pennsylvania Hershey factory. And if you ever wondered where up the Hershey Highway comes from, just ask Bill Slemmer because he's from Winchendon and originally from Pennsylvania. Hey, Bill, Sean Cassidy from the 70s called. He said he wants his haircut back, okay?
Okay.
And Chachi from Happy Days called. He said that he wants his jeans back, okay? And nobody called and said they want their jokes back, okay?
Ooh.
True story. Bill once showed up to a show at a church for children between the ages of 5 and 10 years old, and he proceeded to tell them a joke about how to lick good pussy.
That was Thomas.
Way to read the crowd, Bill, okay? Way to read the crowd, yes. It was a very educational time for the children in a house of worship. That went over about as well as showing up to a bar mitzvah with one of RichardMcCabe's line of all-natural soaps and telling them, here, use this for your next shower. It has no chemicals in it.
Ooh.
Thomas Mitchell is the only one on this panel with enough education to realize just how over-the-top offensive that joke actually is.
Yes, yes.
I dedicate that joke to the millennial comics of this generation who are offended by everything. Your political correctness is killing comedy. You don't know how to take a joke anymore. You're a bunch of pansy-ass motherfuckers who will never know how to lick good pussy. Just ask Bill Slemmer.
Bill, get your family out of the room until Dennis leaves. Rich, you're the host.
Bill's biggest role in comedy was in That 70s Show. He wasn't in it, but he bought season 1 for new pickup lines. Like, hey, baby, I'm from Winchendon. Peace, baby, let's go out and I'll let you touch my Woodstock. They were a big hit of the family reunion between his two cousins. Bill's originally from Pennsylvania, where they filmed the movie Rocky, okay? That was where the movie Rocky was shot. And they should have stopped making Rocky movies after 3 Rocky movies, because that's when they started to suck. And that's usually about how many jokes Bill tells before the crowd wants him to stop. All right, there's some famous Bills out there. There's the famous Bill Clinton, who was a famous president. There's Bill Murray, who was a famous actor. There's Bill Slemmer, who's from Winchendon. Population 10,900, and that's all in one family. I'm not saying if you're from Winchendon, your mom and dad look like their brother and sister, but Bill once went to Ancestry.com and he got 1 leaf. All right, Bill and I, we started comedy together way back when. We started playing pubs and restaurants, and 12 years later, Bill is now playing pubs and restaurants. All right. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to say about Bill. Then when I started, I came up with 5 pages. But it makes
Wow.
sense, that he plays pubs and restaurants because he really cooks when he drinks. Okay. Me and Bill, when we started doing open mics, we went around an open mic where he had a little bit too much to drink, and when we did a pub, I'll tell you the best joke Bill had that night. This was the best joke of the night. It went like this. It went, that was Bill's best joke of the night from having too much to drink. It was all there. The setup, the delivery, the punchline, the trips to AA meetings afterwards. It was all there when you want a good joke, okay? But enough about Bill from me. Let's get on to our next person. Let's see. What do I got about this fucking guy? I got a page about him, too. Oh, here he is. All right. Our first roaster of the evening is RichardMcCabe. And if you never heard of RichardMcCabe, there's a reason for that. RichardMcCabe recently turned 60 years old. Or, ironically, that's how many inches his balls hang from the ground now. Are you still there? Did I lose everybody? No.
No,
I think you said that
I think
last
I got you all
joke
shocked. Nobody's
backwards.
fucking moving over there. I set the tone for this fucking roast. Okay?
60 inches from the ground is pretty high up.
60
5
inches
feet.
to the ground. Okay.
It's 5 feet.
Rich isn't shocked that people know that he has something there. So
Yeah, RichardMcCabe came out with a line of all natural soaps. It's about time someone had the courage to tell you stink. And you took that advice and really ran with it, okay? Yeah. Me and Rich started out doing open mics years ago. We went to a place called 3Gs where a lady walked in off the street and tried to sell us fish out of a brown paper bag. Hey, there's a new set for your soaps, man, all right? Fish for the single man. I just paid $5 for a single bar of soap. Something smells fishy. He's got a bar of soap and a bridge somewhere. He wants to sell you real cheap. That's the second plug I've given your fucking soap on my podcast. I hope you appreciate it. With no further ado, I am going to spotlight Rich. I give you RichardMcCabe.
All right,
That
Rich.
was some good fun. Thank you very much.
take his room.
This is tough for me just because it's I have a hard time being mean, unlike a lot of people. So once I stop crying, I should be able to read my set. Bob Sheehy, I had a lot for Bob Sheehy, but then it kind of dawned on me that chances are somebody would have pissed him off and he would have left early anyway. So it doesn't make sense.
He does it.
Jesus Christ, Jerry. I didn't even write anything for you because I didn't think you'd be in the thing yet. I figured it'd be another 20 minutes before you showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Always late. Always late.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And
Who
then
booked you now?
Dennis, I see that you have an online stand-up course, and I have to say, out of all the people I know in comedy, nobody works harder, nobody puts more into the craft, nobody is more determined to climb the comedy ladder than you, and nobody is more qualified to teach somebody how to piss off an amazing amount of people.
I know how to lick good pussy.
And let's see, Greg's not here. That's okay because I didn't want to piss him off anyways. And Bill, we go back obviously a long time. Normally I don't like anybody my age or close to my age that still has a full head of hair. But you know what? There's nothing I can do about it. Let's see, one of your favorite lines is the line about your current hometown of Templeton spraying every spring for incest control. I always love that line. However, after doing a little bit of research work, I found out that they didn't actually start spraying for incest control until the year after your family moved into town. So that's an interesting let's see, what else do we have? Oh, yeah, here we go. The internet provides an amazing ability to look deep into people's family histories. Being a member of the Ancestry.com, I decided to pull up some noteworthy and possibly amazing contributions that your ancestors made. What I discovered was nothing short of absolutely amazing. Although I was able to trace your name all the way back 677 years, it turns out that none of your ancestors somehow, amazingly, accomplished absolutely nothing worthwhile in any way, shape, or form. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, and I probably, I don't know if this is the place or time, but I had a little fling with Bill's wife. He used to work at, or she used to work at my cardiologist's office. So I'd go in and, we'd talk, and all of a sudden I started making up, little illnesses so that I could see her more often. And I finally got her to go out on a date with me. And unfortunately, she insisted on a $150 copay. So that didn't work out so good. But let's see, what else do I have? Yeah, and as far as Mr. Mitchell goes, I really struggled with this, because making fun of you or saying anything mean to you is like, you're like a combination of Mother Teresa and Leave It to Beaver. I mean, it's just you can't say shit about you without sounding like an asshole.
He does like
well, I
Beaver.
encourage that.
So actually, that's all I got. So you guys can you can move right along.
Anything nice about Bill?
Nice about Bill? Yeah, of course I have some nice stuff about
I thought
Bill.
we were supposed to say that at the end.
Yeah.
This is the end of his set. Say it.
Oh,
Say something nice about Bill. I'm trying to help you out, Rich.
Okay.
I've been trying for 10 years now, but go on.
He didn't write nothing. He's gonna come up.
You know what? To be honest with you, not just Bill, but everybody on this call, I've met some pretty amazing people, and especially
Mitchell?
people
Thomas Mitchell?
have gone out of their way to help people out, and it's been huge. It's been a big part of my life. It's been one of my most favorite parts of getting older, was the ability to work with people like Bill and the rest of you, and to make a little bit of a difference, and to make the world a little bit better and make some people smile. So, Bill's been doing that from day one, and absolutely love him for it.
thank you, Rich.
All
No
right.
problem.
Pretty soon Rich will be doing it at JD Chasers. But go on.
All right. That there was comedian Rich McCabe, and if you never heard of Rich McCabe, that's why right there. All right. Moving right along. This brings us to our next comedian, Thomas Mitchell. Now, if you've never heard of Thomas Mitchell, there's a reason for that. Me and Tom have one thing in common. We're both divorced, but unlike Tom, I learned my lesson at one. Oh no, Tom, he didn't learn his lesson. He went for a second fucking round, okay? Well, the child support superhero needed a sidekick. We'll call you Never Learns His Lesson Boy. But
You got it.
that's right. Hey, cheer up, Tom. Only 20 more payments, and that nice shiny new kid is paid for in full, okay? But you don't have to worry if you don't have the money to go out anywhere, because now I'm sure you've stayed home and figured out how to look good pussy. Just ask Bill Slemmer. But with no further ado, I give you Never Learns His Lesson Boy, paying child support for the rest of his life, from New Hampshire, Tom Mitchell.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Big round of applause for Dennis there. Keep it going for him. Come on, I can see you guys. You got to clap. Holy moly there.
Bill's not. He's pissed.
I appreciate Dennis including me on this. I got to say, he is, quite frankly, the loudest guy I've ever met. When I think of Dennis, I'm thinking, man, this guy is bombastic and loud. And I would say, where did he learn to whisper? Was that during orgasm? But I doubt he's ever actually had one. So, and I doubt that he's actually ever given someone one. Or wait a minute. There was that J.J. Walker gig. I'm sure the contract called for that in there somewhere, Dennis, And with Bob Sheehy, he's not here, but he has a podcast of murder mystery, Silence of the Fam, with his daughter. And I listen to that, and then I hear on there, they're talking about their refrigerator. And his daughter doesn't know what a crisper drawer is in the refrigerator. She's like, what's a crisper? And Bob said that was his fault. He said because, that was not, he didn't keep any vegetables in there. That's where he kept all the soda pop. It's like, I'm thinking also due to Bob, his daughter probably thinks all apples covered in caramel because he only bought them at the county fair, and all soups have rainbow Skittles in them because that's how Bob liked it. And then we got RichardMcCabe here on the set. You already heard his set, and yeah, he does make and sell soap, which is good because after hearing his set, we all want to shower. It's just like leaves with that feeling, And we got Jerry, probably my best friend, great friend in comedy. Now, Jerry, since the passing of Bob Seibel, is probably the oldest person that I know in comedy. In fact, Jerry is so old.
How old is he?
Thank
How
you.
old is he?
He is so old, he took his driver's test on a dinosaur. Okay? I think it was a Triceratops. Now, I got to say, though, Jerry is always there to help anyone out. He's a good friend and does a lot of causes. And always helping out again. But again, I'm not going to fall for that free prostate exam trick again. Okay, Jerry, it just, kind of uncalled for. Unless you found something concerning last time, did you? Then maybe we should just to be thorough, we should do that again.
You're not a woman. That's what I found out.
All right. Oh, we got Bill, Bill's act, all right, so, I think of Bill's act, and I'm thinking his act is kind of hack. In fact, Bill's act is so hack.
How hack is it?
Yes. Bill's act is so hack, North Korea is using his bits to break into other countries' computer systems. Is this thing on? Don't you guys read the newspaper at all, you illiterate bastards? Oh, my God. Now, when I met Bill, the first time I met him, I really got close to him, and we were talking right before one of the gigs. And I don't want to say that Bill's breath smells bad, but he doesn't need a Tic Tac. He needs toilet paper, okay? Oh, man. Bill's been around the block also, just like Jerry. He's been around the block. And Bill is so old.
How old?
How old?
You figure you should be trained by now. Jump in when I say that. Bill is so old, his social security card has Roman numerals on it. Okay. Man. And Bill says he looks a lot like Chuck Norris and compares himself to Chuck Norris, And of course, though, Chuck Norris can break 2x4s with his bare hands. I'm not even convinced Bill could snap a popsicle stick with his bare hands. He is so weak. Bill is so weak.
How weak is he?
Thank you. He is so weak, I don't even think he could open an automatic door. All right, some of these are just for me, and that's okay. But every set he talks about how he looks like Chuck Norris. And I'm thinking, that can be a good thing for Bill. He can save a lot of money. It's very cool. He can save a lot of money. He can go out trick-or-treating, doesn't even need a mask. Because he looks like Chuck Norris. What the hell is wrong with you, bastards?
We don't understand Vermont.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. Bill, I just want to say, you're a great guy, and I look forward to seeing you at more gigs. I enjoy working with you, and I enjoy working with Rich, Dennis, and Jerry also. So, I'm honored to be asked to be on this. I just want to thank you, Dennis, again. And I thank you for setting us up, Dennis, because I know this took a lot of time away from your self-gratification activities. So.
Right. Thanks, Thomas. Thanks, bud.
You're welcome.
Let's see. All right. That was comedian Thomas Mitchell right there. And Mr. Rogers and Pat Sajak would be proud. It's howdy doody time when Tom joins. That's for sure. Those are some cutting edge jokes right there, Tom. The children will be proud, I'll tell you. All right, let's see. This leads us up to our next roaster, Jerry Caruso. Now, if you've never heard of Jerry Caruso, there's a reason for that, okay? Me and Bill met taking Jerry's class, okay? Jerry and Bill went up the hill, and Bill bought a joke for a quarter, and that's about what he got for his class, about a quarter's worth, okay? Because he started out playing pubs and restaurants, and now he's going to be playing 10, 11 years later, pubs and restaurants. If you never heard of me and Bill, the reason's why, because we took Jerry's class. That's why you never heard of me. Oh, Jerry Caruso, he's got some cutting edge stuff, man. He'll tell you about, jokes about Moses, how he parted the Red Sea, some old Abbott and Costello and Laurel and Hardy black and white, no sound films. I mean, he's right on the cutting edge of comedy. I don't want to say he's a lounge act, but Larry Lee Lewis would tell him, hey, good set. Oh, let's see. Jerry always wants you to work clean, okay? That's his big thing when you work one of his shows. He wants you to work clean. Rather than him telling the person who's hiring how to do comedy, he wants to let them tell him how to do comedy, and they've never taken Jerry's class, okay? So, hey, fuck you, you goody two-shoes motherfucker, okay? I work dirty, and I'm damn proud of it, okay? But, let's see. Jerry's known for song parodies, Weird Al Yankovic once did a song parody from Eat It from the song Michael Jackson's Beat It, and that's usually what the crowd tells Jerry to do when he starts telling jokes. He's also famous for impressions, so ladies and gentlemen, I give you here's Jerry Caruso's impression of Jerry Caruso bombing.
Hey. First of all, it's great to be here, especially with such an honored guest as Bill. Give Bill a hand, everybody, please. Bill's a great guy. He's taking a great guy. Dennis, thank you for hosting this because Alana couldn't, so that's so the thing with people. So let's start off with Sheehy. He's the other comic with a lazy eye, just like me. So we have that in common. And you also know with that, we suck at crowd work. Anyway, Bob's unemployed. There's no work, just like his career in comedy. No one said anything about Greg Bogus. Dennis, did you have anything on Greg?
I'm going to get to him next. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Greg Bogus. He lost a good amount of weight there, Greg Bogus. I don't know if you people know that. And too bad with that, he lost over half his act. Thank you. His credits mentioned that he was a print model. Yeah, he's more like the before model. I don't know what he's talking about. Too bad he lost that weight because he's honorably mentioned, supposedly, if anybody reads his credits, very impressive credits. It says, quote unquote, that he was mentioned in the Hippo. I think they meant he was the Hippo.
I get that, Joe.
Thank you. Rich McCabe. Look at Rich McCabe. What a good guy. He's like Mr. Rogers' overweight, untalented self. I mean, pretty much. No, Rich is a great guy. Rich would do anything for anybody. Well, because he doesn't get any work. But Rich makes naturally clean soaps, unlike his act. Name it after his act. Rich took comedy as a hobby, right, Rich? Like all of us, we take it as a hobby. Thank God. Because at least you have a successful hobby now, naturally clean soaps. Anyway, Bob, I said Bob Sheehy, Dennis Wirth. Dennis, great guy. I've known Dennis ever since he came into the world of comedy. He's another comic that loses weight. Of course, it helps working at a Chinese restaurant, so that's a good thing for Dennis. In an article from Pulse, someone was quoted. I think I'm right in saying this, Dennis. Dennis is worth every penny and might be funnier than Dane Cook. I think the guy meant Dane the Cook who works with you. That was true, right? Dennis, that was in the Pulse, right?
Yeah.
Who said that? Sean Hansen?
Sean, I believe Sean, yeah.
Yep, Sean Hansen. So now we get to the guest of honor. Guest of honor is Bill Slemmer. Bill Slemmer. Let's see. Where should I start? Okay, everybody. No one highlighted on this. Bill looks like Chuck Norris. And I think he takes it a little too serious, huh, Bill? Nobody knows his two kids, Walker and Texas Ranger, right? His dog is named Top Dog. And go through the list of Chuck Norris movies and you'll see this. And his cat is named Yellow-Faced Tiger. If these jokes suck, these are the only Chuck Norris jokes.
You did some research, Jerry, man.
I did some research. Is right. Really Bob is waiting to come in. Oh, that's because he wants.
Oh, that's nice of him. All right.
No.
Let's let Bob in. All right.
Yeah, we'll let Bob in. So, and also, Bill's bedroom life is named also after Chuck Norris's, one of his good films, Missing in Action. Anybody get that? Is this on? No.
I did see that show. I saw that movie.
Yeah. Missing in Action.
Three of them, yeah.
Anyway, Bill moved from Philly to Winchtucky. What the hell is wrong with you, Bill? Yeah. You could have chose Templeton, as Rich would say. But anyway, Bill, let's see. Like he says in his act, he had 4 sisters, and in Winchtucky, it was like he had a date for every night. Don't let him lie to you. Those were his dates when he was in Philly. All of his sisters. Besides being a comic, Bill has done acting with me for Murder Mystery USA. He did a good job playing character roles. The only thing is, this Chuck Norris wannabe says, Jerry, so his first time he had to be a hitman, and then he had to be a bookie. He goes, what do I do? He was nervous. He says, what do I be? I said, look, you got to be sleazy. You got to be a low life. You got to be a thug. You got to be the worst person in the world for either of these roles. Just be yourself, I told him. So let's take Bill's act. Please, someone take it. No, Bill, let's see. He talks about dating. We already got that. Kidding. That was his life. Joke about. So Bill has a joke about farm animals stuck in a fence, right? Right, Bill?
Yep. Sheep.
Which the truth comes out, that was a recollection of his teenage days. So. And that was his sex life too, farm animals.
It did.
Bill is also a man who likes his tea, as people know, especially if it's beer flavored. His act is like Coors Light, sometimes rocky. Anyway, Bill was always there for me. Oh, Bill has a lovely wife, Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Are you there?
Yes, dog's there too.
Bill jokes about his wife, Kathy, a lover of animals, stopping servicing. Bill insists that sucked. I'm not doing this. Bill has a great family. Bill is not the prototypical comic. Folks, if you think about it, he has a home, he has a job, he has a wife, he has 2 children, he has a job. He's the prototypical non-comic. Like most comics are on drugs and divorced. Sorry, guys. Living at home with their parents. Sorry, Rich.
Greg.
So Bill is always there for me as far as doing comedy. He did a lot of benefits from fundraisers. Shows that stand out. Bill, I think you remember the show we had to do a church for a girl battling cancer.
Yeah.
Bill had to be clean, and I go, take as long as you want. And that was his best 2 minutes I've ever seen him do.
Yeah.
No, and in actuality, Bill did 18 minutes that night. That was fun. Relay for Life. I think Bill remembers this. We got stuck entertaining 20 plus preteen and teenage girls.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Bill spoke about his parenting skills. He cleared the room with that one. Literally, the girls were gone after that.
Yeah.
We did Murder Mystery at Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I don't know if you remember that, Bill. That was a long night.
Yeah. That
We had
was,
to travel down to Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and it brought back the good old days for Bill. So before the show, we knocked off a convenience store. We harassed Yankee fans, and then I let Bill spend time with the farm animal stuck in the fence.
Oh.
Bill has progressed in comedy, doing longer sets. He asked me to watch, and after that, he'd say, "How'd you do?" And I said, "That's what the beer was for."
yeah.
Anyway, in closing, Bill is a great guy. He's one of my closest friends, along with the rest of you. Bob's frozen, so anyway. Bill's one of my close friends. He has a heart of gold. He's a very funny guy. He's great to hang out with before and after the show. Always there. Bill, I love you like a brother, and you know that.
Yep.
You're beating
Absolutely.
cancer. We're all rooting for you, and we love you, man. Thanks. God bless.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Jared. Thank you.
Is Bob back or no?
All
I'm just
right,
back.
Jerry Caruso for you right there. Let's see. I think.
Hey, is Bob back or no?
No, I think he left. Let's see if he tries to
We
come
lost
back
him again.
All right. Well, let's see. That was Jerry Caruso, and if you never heard of Jerry Caruso, that's why. Let's see. Greg Bogus couldn't join us tonight. If you never heard of Greg Bogus, there's a reason for
The reason
that.
for that?
The last roast I did with Greg, the microphone went dead on him, and the crowd thanked me afterwards. This time he didn't show up, and the crowd will probably thank me for that. I'm not saying Greg is a hack, but his last original joke was about him and the farmer's daughter going out for a pizza. I'm not saying Greg is fat, but he practiced eating good pussy on taco shells. All right, let's see. This is going to bring me to Bob Sheehy. Is Bob still in here? No? Well, that's his fucking problem. Let's let him have it anyway. If you never heard of Bob Sheehy, there's a reason for that, okay? Bob was in the movie called Celtic Pride, and if you never heard of the movie Celtic Pride, there's a reason for that. Think of the worst movie you ever seen in your life. Buy it on DVD, and then wipe your ass with it. Same effect. And after you wipe your ass with it, you throw it in the toilet bowl and puke all over it, and it's still a better scene than you will see in any scene in Celtic Pride. Except for the scene with Larry Bird, which was a good scene because I would never consider shitting on a Boston legend, and that's why Bob don't have to worry about anybody shitting on him on this roast. Bob,
Glad you said that.
That's the home of the old man of the mountain, and we call Bob the old man of comedy because he's told the same jokes for about 30 years now. Last time Bob wrote a new joke was during the Spanish flu. Yeah, it was something like the Spanish were thankful he didn't put subtitles in the movie Celtic Pride in their language, so they couldn't watch it. But Bob isn't back in the room, so we're gonna say that's it for Bob, I guess, right there. But I'll get to a sincere moment about Bill Slemmer. You know, Bill and me, we started comedy together. We did a lot of small rooms. We worked our way up. And I don't know why it's like this, but in comedy, you have to choose your circle you're going to run with. You can't be in every circle. People are going to stab you in the back. They're going to talk about you. They're going to boot you from shows. They're going to steal your rooms. But I never have to worry about Bill stealing my room because he's in my circle of comedy and so are the rest of you. And I'm damn proud to be in the circle of comedy with the rest of you. So now that I've said something nice about Bill, I'm going to let him have the stage and he can say something bad about me. Ladies, never heard about him. Are about to hear about him. Funny Like a Clown podcast gives you comedian Bill Slemmer.
All right. Well, you know what? I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do this for me. Let's start with Rich. Rich likes to manscape because it makes him appear bigger. But I don't know how you can shave something you can't see. He claims to live in Shirley, but I found out that Shirley is actually the name of his ex-girlfriend. He actually lives in air. And I know he's got this whole soap thing going on where he's manufacturing soap. I think he should probably lather up before he goes on stage because we can't tell whether it's him that stinks or his act.
Ooh.
Now, Greg was supposed to be on this week, and the only thing I say about Greg is if you ever seen the Greg Bogus Hour, he named that properly because it is pretty bogus. Now, I did get a chance to meet his roommates, or as he calls them, mom and dad. And Bob, unfortunately, Bob couldn't be here again today. Now, the whole coronavirus didn't really bother Bob's comedy career or sex life. He there's that 6 foot rule distance. Well, his wife kept telling him for years that she wouldn't touch him with a 6 foot pole. And then we got Mr. Jerry Caruso, teacher, mentor, works very hard. Jerry's claim to fame is that he wants to open for Larry the Cable Guy. Turns out it actually be just some guy named Larry who worked for Comcast.
I like that.
When dating his wife's very romantic, and Jerry was supposed to pick out a romantic movie. and he picked out Dances with Wolves. And he'll tell you this. Now, after the movie, he got the name, Indian name, sleeps on couch and plays with cells. You would think after all these years he would have a different name, different hobby. Jerry's always looking for work. You know, he's the hardest working comic that I know. And he recently did some kind of podcast where, you know, you're online and you really can't, you're telling jokes and you can't hear anybody. And he complained that, you know, he couldn't hear people laugh. And I just don't understand that. He should be used to that by now.
Ooh.
And Dennis likes to do the whole child support hero thing. You know, you kind of wonder, you know, with this superhero runs through the parking lots and looks for kids and young kids in cars about to have sex and throws condoms in the car for them. And you kind of wonder where that guy was about 46 years ago.
I needed me.
And Dennis, for as long as I've known Dennis, he's always trying to lose weight. You know, he'll lose it, he'll gain it. So I did a little research online. I found out that breast milk is high in protein and fat. So I think it's about time his mom stops breastfeeding him.
Ooh, wow.
Zing.
Of course, we all know that Dennis's idol is Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
He likes to, you know, collect memorabilia. You know, he styles his routine after him. And I think he's taking it a little too seriously now because he wants to exhume the body, his dead body, and skin him and wear it as a coat.
Okay.
Thomas Mitchell. Thomas was kind of hard, like Rich said. You know, he's like Mr. Clean, Mr. Rock.
Nobody knows him well.
I don't know how this happened, but all right.
He's tough. But, you know, Thomas was so ugly when he was a kid that he became an altar boy just so somebody would touch him. And he claims that he had his first house built by lesbians. I don't think he had a choice because all the straight contractors got a little nervous around him. And you know how we all, when we do comedy, we all do you know, they try to do a poster and, you know, we have pictures of ourselves on the poster. And, you know, Thomas is still using that poster he started, you know, picture taking them when he first started doing comedy. You know, the one that makes him look like a 12-year-old. He uses that same photo on his dating app so he can pick up 12-year-old girls.
In Vermont.
Right? Again, I really do appreciate you guys taking the time out. I mean, you know, it's a Sunday afternoon, things to do. It's nice outside. You guys, you know, not only my friends, you know, I love you guys, man. You know, I look forward to, enjoyed all the times we get to go out and you know, share the stage. You know, I really appreciate it. It's an honor to be your friends. I love you all. And thank you so much for this honor and, you know, my balls. Thank you.
All right. Bill Slemmer right there. Give it up to guest of honor, everybody. Bill Slemmer. Give it up for him. All right. You know you loved in comedy when you have your comedy circle and 5 out of 7 of them will show up for your roast. And 2 of them really don't give a shit about you. But I want to thank RichardMcCabe for being on Funny Like a Clown podcast. Look up one of his soaps and clean yourself. All right. I want to thank Thomas Mitchell for being on Funny Like a Clown podcast. Mr. Rogers would be proud. All right. You got a career in Sesame Street. All right. I want to thank Jerry Caruso for being on. You clean working motherfucker. Tell a jury. One time I want to hear you tell a jury what to do. Just once. Okay. The guest of honor, Bill Slemmer. Bill, you may look like Chuck Norris, but I love you anyway, man. You can kick somebody's ass with me any time of the week. Just let Sean Cassidy have his hair cut back. That's all I ask. Because, you know, Chachi wants his jeans. I've already done this jokes. Fuck it, I don't care. This is Funny Like a Clown podcast. We all love Bill. Thank you, Bill. Give it up one time for Bill.
Appreciate it, man.
We're all big circle.
Good seeing you guys.
And you know, hey, anybody got anything else they want to say before we go?
Can't wait for this whole thing to end and we get to share the stage again, guys.
That's right.
That's
man.
right.
Hey,
That'd be good.
Bill,
Hey, thanks for hosting it. Thanks for hosting it, Dennis.
No, thanks for you guys being on. We've been about 11 years in comedy. We've had some magical moments, and I look forward to the next 11 years with you guys.
Take care,
Absolutely.
brother. Take
All
care,
right.
everybody.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
guys.
Thank you for being on Funny.com podcast. Until next time, keep laughing because laughter is the best medicine. Good night.